Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Subha Kaul with the Midday News. The headlines. More than 11,45,000 people recover from COVID-19 so far. Case fatality rate further declines to 2.13%. Uttar Pradesh Cabinet Minister Kamal Rani Varun dies battling COVID-19. President Ramnath Kovind and Defence Minister express grief. Assam government allows malls, hotels and restaurants to operate on weekdays with strict COVID-19 norms. Punjab police arrest 25 persons in Huj tragedy case in which 86 people lost their lives. And flood situation remains grim in Bihar. Over 50 lakh people affected in 14 worst hit districts. A record 51,255 recoveries from COVID-19 have been registered in the country in the last 24 hours. This is the highest number of recoveries in a single day since the outbreak of the pandemic in the country. With this, the recovery rate has improved to 65.43%. The case fatality rate has further declined to 2.13%. Health and Family Welfare Ministry has said a total of 11,45,629 people have recovered in the country so far. In the last 24 hours, 54,735 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported, taking the total number of cases to 17,50,723. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 5,67,730. In a single day, 853 deaths have also been reported, taking the nationwide toll to 37,364. Indian Council of Medical Research said that a total of 4,63,172 tests were conducted by various laboratories within 24 hours. Overall, 1,98,21,831 tests have been conducted in the country so far. At present, 1,344 laboratories across India are conducting COVID-19 tests. That includes 913 government laboratories and 431 private laboratory chains. Uttar Pradesh Cabinet Minister Kamal Rani Varun passed away today battling the COVID-19 at PGI Hospital in Lucknow. She was 62. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has expressed deep sorrow on the demise of the minister. President Ramnath Kovind has also expressed grief on the demise of the minister. In a tweet, the President said, well respected for serving people at the grassroots, Kamal Rani Varun had also served as an MP in the Lok Sabha twice. He expressed condolences to her family and followers. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has also condoled the demise of the UP minister. Mr. Singh said in a tweet, Kamal Rani Varun was known for her diligence and she contributed a lot to strengthen the party in and around Kanpur. Kamal Rani Varun, who was elected from Ghatampur Assembly constituency in 2017, served as a Minister of Technical Education in the Yogi Adityanath government. She was a known activist of women's rights and empowerment.
The Assam government has allowed malls, hotels and restaurants to operate following strict COVID-19 norms. In an order, the Chief Secretary of the state said that malls and gymnasiums are allowed to operate between Monday to Friday. The order further said that restaurants, hotels and other hospitality services are allowed to operate on all days except Saturday and Sunday with strict maintenance of COVID-19 protocols. Inter-district movement of people would be allowed on Monday and Tuesday. Non-contact sports in open spaces are also allowed in the state. This order would come into force at 7 p.m. today and will remain valid till 14th of this month. Mizoram found highest single-day spike with 55 new coronavirus cases in the last 24 hours. With this, the total number of COVID-19 cases has reached 468 in the state. So far, 253 patients have been cured. Among new cases, 46 are paramilitary forces and 8 are civilians who have recently returned from other states. Presently, active cases stand at 215, of which 165 are from different forces like BSF, Assam Rifles, NDRF and the Army, while 50 active cases are civilians.
In Bihar, COVID testing capacity target has been fixed at 50,000 per day. Every district will be monitored by an IAS officer. The decision has been taken in view of the spike in the number of cases. Meanwhile, a highest number of 3,521 fresh cases were reported yesterday, taking the tally to 54,508. Rajya Sabha MP RCP Singh, MLA, Lalan Paswan and Patna DM are among those tested positive. Capital Patna has maximum number of positive cases with over 9,300, followed by over 2,600 in Bhagalpur and over 2,400 in Muzaffarpur. 35,473 patients have recovered in the state so far, and 18,722 patients are undergoing treatment in various hospitals. 312 people have lost their lives. Recovery rate of the state is 65%. In Karnataka, out of 1,29,287 COVID positive cases, 53,648 persons have recovered. The recovery rate in the state is improved slightly to 41.5%. The state has conducted 13,85,552 RT-PCR and rapid antigen tests. Out of the 100 tests conducted, 9 are found COVID positive as on date. Around 78% of the positive patients are asymptomatic. Our correspondent reports that state government is making efforts to increase beds for the COVID patients. A report.
Hospital is being converted into a dedicated COVID hospital in Bengaluru. Sudha Murthy of Infosys Foundation has come forward to provide necessary infrastructure in the hospital. Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar has tweeted that a 200-bed COVID hospital will be functional here. He also thanked 570 doctors from Haveri in the state for coming forward to treat COVID patients without any charges. After lifting the Sunday lockdown in Bengaluru, shops, parks and public transport functioned normally, but people avoided coming out and roads remained empty in many parts of the city. Similar reports have come from other parts of the state. In Mysuru, very few people were seen visiting tourist destinations which are chock-a-block during Sundays. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
Maharashtra's coronavirus tally went up by 9,601 new cases, taking the state's total case load to 4,31,719 in the last 24 hours. 322 patients lost their lives. Mumbai's daily case load seems to be decreasing, and now Pune city and Thane city are having more cases than Mumbai. Meanwhile, Maharashtra has extended the statewide lockdown till August 31st in an effort to contain the spread of the coronavirus outbreak. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
The state has recorded 9,601 new cases and 322 deaths, with case fatality rate now at 3.55%. After extending the lockdown till August 31st, the Uddhav Thackeray government, however, allowed malls and marketplaces to remain open between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. from August 5. Theatres, food courts and restaurants will, however, remain closed. Several district collectors have issued instructions that concessions granted to the non-containment zones and the state government's guidelines will be applicable to municipal councils and Nagar Panchayat limits too. Containment zones identified by civic authorities of various towns and cities will remain in lockdown till August 31st. Meanwhile, at least 76 workers of a firm in Chakan area of Pune district have tested positive for coronavirus. Sonali Ghadiyal Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
The World Health Organization has warned that the coronavirus pandemic is likely to be prolonged. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said this after Emergency Committee of WHO met to evacuate the crisis 6 months after sounding the international alarm.
The pandemic does not mean life has to stop. We must all learn to live with the virus and to take the steps necessary to live our lives while protecting ourselves and others, especially those at the highest risk of COVID-19.
The committee has warned of the risk of response fatigue given the socio-economic pressures on countries. It highlighted the importance of sustained community, national, regional and global response efforts.
Participating in AIR live phone-in program on COVID-19, Dr. Madhur Yadav, Professor of Medicine at the Lady Hardinge Medical College, said that people should avoid going outside without any emergency to reduce the chances of the exposure to the virus.
जब तक बहुत जरूरत ना हो आप घर से बाहर ना जाएं। जब तक बहुत जरूरत ना हो अपने आप को एक्सपोज मत करें। आपको नहीं मालूम कि अगला जो आदमी जा रहा है उसकी क्या हालत है, क्या वो इन्फेक्टेड तो नहीं है। और सबसे बड़ी बात क्या है कि समाज में एसिम्प्टोमेटिक जिनको कोई सिम्टम नहीं है वो पेशेंट्स ज्यादा हैं। इसलिए एहतियात बरतने की अभी पूरी जरूरत है। और एक बात बहुत साफ है, इस एहतियात के साथ ही रहना होगा।
In a series, Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of the leading medical experts on COVID-19. Dr. S. Rajeshwari, Department of Anesthesiology, AIMS, has advised people to stay at homes and maintain hand hygiene.
We have seen that there is a severe shortage of ICU facilities in the most developed of countries. And in order that we do not face the same calamity in our country, it is vital that we do not stress the health system by becoming more sick and bringing more patients. And for this, I urge that you must stay at home and must maintain hand hygiene to reduce the number of patients coming into the hospital.
Dr. Purva Mathur, Professor Lab Medicine, AIMS, has said that physical distancing is very important to check the spread of the virus.
Coronavirus spreads by droplets when a person coughs or sneezes. These droplets do not travel beyond 1 meter, and that is why it's important to maintain social distancing.
Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said that more than 1 million stranded Indians have now benefited from Vande Bharat mission. In a tweet, Mr. Puri said, more than 9 lakh Indians have returned to India through various means and more than 1,16,000 have flown out to various countries since 6th May of this year. He said yesterday 3,124 Indians returned from various countries. Mr. Puri expressed hope that Phase 5 of the mission will provide benefit to most citizens. In a bid to augment the testing facilities, Odisha government has allowed private hospitals, nursing homes and laboratories to conduct COVID-19 tests through rapid antigen and RT-PCR methods. The government issued a separate set of guidelines for conducting sample tests, both under rapid antigen and RT-PCR. The private health establishments have to abide by the ICMR norms. The notification said the sample test results should first be informed to the state authorities before being released to the person whose test was conducted. For rapid antigen tests, the private bodies can arrange a maximum of 450 rupees, while the price for RT-PCR tests is fixed at 2,200 rupees per test. The nursing homes, hospitals and laboratories should be mandatorily registered under the Odisha Clinical Establishment Control and Regulation Act 1990. The manpower to be deployed for the purpose must be trained properly in consultation with the Chief District Medical and Public Health Officers. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. More than 11,45,000 people recover from COVID-19 so far. Case fatality rate further declines to 2.13%. Uttar Pradesh Cabinet Minister Kamal Rani Varun dies battling COVID-19. President Ramnath Kovind and Defence Minister express grief. Assam government allows malls, hotels and restaurants to operate on weekdays with strict COVID-19 norms. Punjab police arrest 25 persons in Hooch tragedy case in which 86 people lost their lives. And flood situation remains grim in Bihar, over 50 lakh people affected in 14 worst hit districts. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
संस्कृत दिवस पर सुनना न भूलें आकाशवाणी द्वारा प्रस्तुत विशेष कार्यक्रम बहुजन भाषा संस्कृत भाषा सोमवार प्रातः 7:10 से FM समाचार चैनल पर।
Punjab police has arrested 17 more persons in a massive crackdown in 3 Hooch tragedy-affected districts of Amritsar Rural, Gurdaspur and Taran Taran, along with several other places in and around Rajpura and Shambu border. The total number of arrests in the case has gone up to 25. 7 excise officials and 6 policemen have been suspended. 86 people have died in the spurious Lika tragedy. Taran Taran alone accounted for 63 deaths, followed by 12 in Amritsar Rural and 11 in Gurdaspur, Batala. Chief Minister Amrinder Singh announced a compensation of 2 lakh rupees for each of the families of the deceased. Punjab Director General of Police Dinkar Gupta said raiding parties have also seized large quantities of homemade liquor, lahan from various villages and dhabas in the region. He said the raids have exposed a massive racket in illicit liquor extending across several districts. 750 litres of lahan has been seized from village Baghaura. Describing the modus operandi of the accused, the DGP said the trucks carrying spirit would be stopped at 6 to 7 identified dhabas in Amritsar and surrounding areas, and the dhaba owners would collect hooch from truck drivers and sell it. According to Excise Commissioner, chemical analysis reports of the material seized in yesterday's raids is yet to come, but a superficial check showed that the material was denatured spirit generally used in paint and hardware industry. Enforcement Directorate has started collecting information about the financial transactions by those named or booked in the case. In Bihar, the flood situation has further deteriorated following rise in water level of Gandak, Buri Gandak and Bagmati rivers. Flood water is engulfing fresh areas. In view of this, Darbhanga and Samastipur districts have been put on high alert. Over 50 lakh people of 14 districts are worst hit. Flood situation is grim in Gopalganj, Madhubani and Sitamarhi and West Champaran. 36 people have lost their lives in flood-related incidents in the last 24 hours. Relief and rescue operations have been intensified. 29 teams of NDRF and SDRF have been pressed into service. About 4 lakh people have been evacuated so far. 30,000 people are taking shelter in relief camps. Met Department has warned about widespread rain across state in the next 24 hours in many parts of northern Bihar as well as catchment areas of Nepal.
The flood situation has improved in Assam. There were no rains in the past 36 hours in the state. However, 10 lakh people are still affected in 20 districts. 29,000 people are staying at relief camps. 109 people have lost their lives due to floods in the state. Relief material, including rice and pulses, are being distributed at affected areas. The flood situation has also improved at the Kaziranga National Park. Park authorities rescued 170 wild animals so far, while 147 habitants died. Now moving on to our special series on development and empowerment of people in Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi showered praises on 2 women Sarpanchs of Jammu and Kashmir and a municipal corporation president for their earnestness and dedication towards corona control measures in their respective areas in his recent Mann Ki Baat program on 26th of July this year. In his address, the Prime Minister said that the rural masses have shown way to entire nation in the prevailing coronavirus crisis. The Prime Minister mentioned about the women Sarpanch Zaituna Begumji of Panchayat Kandholiwar, Ganderbal, who decided to join the fight against coronavirus and at the same time created earning opportunities for the locals hit by the pandemic. The PM said that she distributed free masks and ration in the entire area and provided seed and apple saplings to save the local farmers from any difficulty.
गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से जो हमें 3 महीने की मुफ्त राशन मिली और हमें मास्क मिले और हमें मक्की का बीज कम दामों पे जिम्मेदारों के लिए मिला, मैंने अपने लोगों को घर घर जाके पहुंचाया। हमारे जो लोग हैं घरों से बाहर नहीं निकले, लोगों ने भी पूरा साथ दिया।
Narrating further, the PM also mentioned the good work of Municipal Committee President of Anantnag, Shri Mohammad Iqbal, towards COVID control measures. He said that Iqbal required a sprayer for sanitization of his area, and when he came to know that it can be procured from other city at ₹6 lakh, he made his own machine costing just ₹50,000.
मेरे पास आइडिया आया जब लॉकडाउन पूरे इंडिया में पड़ा तो उस वक्त जहाज भी और ट्रांसपोर्ट भी बंद था, क्योंकि जो बूम स्प्रे मुझे सूरत गुजरात से लाने के लिए मैंने ऑनलाइन बुकिंग करनी थी, बट ड्यू टू ट्रांसपोर्ट नॉन एबिलिटी ऑफ द ट्रांसपोर्ट एंड बाकी सिस्टम, तो मैंने क्या किया, 500 लीटर का बूम स्प्रे कोई 3 लाख रुपए में आता है, कोई 1 लाख रुपए उसका किराया आता था। तो हमने सोचा कि हमारे पास क्यों ना एक मशीन हो। 2500 लीटर हमने टंकी एक बनाई, उसमें हमने टेक्निकली जोड़ा और उसने बूम स्प्रे से भी ज्यादा हमारे करीबन 18 लाख रुपए बचे उसमें।
Yet again from Jammu and Kashmir, a first-of-its-kind initiative where the government embarked on the ambitious Back to Village program last year to reach out to the people at the grassroots level. The program focused on the themes of energizing panchayats, collecting feedback on delivery of government programs, capturing specific economic potential, and undertaking assessment of needs of the villages. During the program, one gazetted officer spent 2 days and 1 night each of the panchayats of the state. Here is more from a correspondent.
The Back to Village program served as a public contact for government officers. Identification of main economic activities, potential areas, major problems, urgent public requirements and major complaints of the panchayat could be possible through this. People were sensitized about government schemes and programs, and social issues were discussed and highlighted. In the first phase, from 20th to 27th June last year, over 4,000 gazetted officers spread out to every single panchayat of Jammu and Kashmir. More than 20 20,000 development works were identified directly by the people and submitted to the top-rung officers. Over 7,000 of the works identified have now been completed. The second phase was held from 25th to 30th November. It focused on doubling farmers' income and 100% implementation of individual beneficiary-oriented schemes. With Anupam Mishra, Suparna Sekya, AIR News, Delhi.
In Kargil, Ladakh, the perception of MG Narega being a wage employment program has been slowly changing as many employment generation units have been established and providing sustainable livelihood to the rural people. We have a report from our correspondent.
In Ladakh, both the districts are creating highest man days under MG Narega scheme, with Kargil topping with 120% more man days, as well as it is focusing on creating sustainable livelihood. The Rural Development Department Kargil is focusing on creating assets which will help the rural people to earn a living, focusing particularly on construction of fish ponds, poultry farms, vermicompost pit, greenhouse, etc. Department is also providing professional training to the villagers who are trying this experiment and are happy with the initiative. Ghulam Muhammad, Assistant Commissioner Development Kargil, further said,
ये हमने एमजी नरेगा में 2020 का जो प्लान हम तैयार किया था 2019 में, तो उसमें हमने ये कोशिश किया कि एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन का.
For AIR News, Anad Ali, Kargil.
In the run-up to the 74th Independence Day, we bring you a special story about Swachh Bharat. The Swachh Bharat mission has focused on rural and urban areas separately and played a crucial role in ensuring sanitation in the country. Since the launch of the mission in 2014, more than 10 crore individual toilets have been constructed across the country, and as a result, rural areas in all the states have declared themselves Open Defecation Free ODF on 2nd October 2019. A report.
To ensure that the open defecation-free behaviors are sustained, no one is left behind, and that solid and liquid waste management facilities are accessible, the Swachh Bharat Mission Rural has moved towards its second phase, which is also called ODF+. This phase will continue till 2024-25. The Swachh Bharat Mission Urban has also made remarkable progress in the area of both sanitation and solid waste management. Over 4,324 urban local bodies have been declared ODF in the country so far. More than 66 lakh individual household toilets and over 6 lakh community and public toilets have also been constructed or are under construction. In the area of solid waste management, 96% of wards have 100% door-to-door collection, while 66% of the total waste generated is being processed. Divakar, AIR News, Delhi.
The Women Entrepreneurship and Empowerment WEE Cohort Initiative helps women ranging from college-going students to middle-aged housewives to take up entrepreneurship as a viable, fulfilling career option. It is India's first-of-its-kind initiative to strengthen women's ecosystem at IIT Delhi, supported and sponsored by the Department of Science and Technology. The cash awards in the form of a grant totaling 25 lakh rupees have been presented to 11 women entrepreneurs. Aparna Sarogi, co-founder of WEE, talked to AIR News about the initiative.
WE is an amazing program for promoting women entrepreneurs, and it was an amazing journey throughout. It developed my self-confidence and taught me to start believing in myself and my business idea. WE is a place where we had developed a community of people who are like-minded in their ambition but completely unique in their experience, creating new learning experience in each class. Connecting to the people who have been gone through the same phase as of ours boosts us morally. The journey with WE is an incredible experience with learning for lifetime.
Kalpana Arora, who has done a doctorate in wastewater management from IIT Delhi, has been awarded for her products like sanitizers from wastewater. She is a social entrepreneur and works for tribal women and farmers in the hilly region of Uttarakhand through self-help groups. Talking to AIR News, she said her journey with WEE helped her meet a community of like-minded individuals.
As we all know, the startups founded by women are more innovative, sustainable, and has less non-performing assets. But unfortunately, our contribution to startup world is around 15 to 20%. Imagine a world where we have more and more startups from women, and that's the only way our country can move to the developed. So we thought of creating a platform where women entrepreneurs across the country from different sectors come together and support and enable each other.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today paid tributes to legendary freedom fighter and the designer of India's national flag, Pingali Venkaiah, on his birth anniversary. In a tweet, Mr. Naidu said Pingali Venkaya was a polymath with interest in geology, education, agriculture and languages. He said a national flag is a symbol of our sovereignty, great history and culture. The death anniversary of noted freedom fighter Dhiran, the Braveheart Chinnamalai, has been observed in Tamil Nadu today. Chinnamalai had valiantly fought against the British East India Company and was captured and hanged to death at the Sankagiri Fort near Salem along with his brothers on 2nd of August 1805.
In Uttar Pradesh, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has announced free travel concession to women in government buses on the occasion of Raksha Bandhan. This will give relief to poor and destitute women visiting their relatives. In the wake of COVID-19, the CM has appealed people to maintain social distancing norms while celebrating the festival. First ever special program in Sanskrit to mark World Sanskrit Day will be broadcasted by All India Radio tomorrow. The 20-minute program titled Bahujan Bhasha Sanskrit Bhasha will be broadcasted at 7:10 am on 100.1 FM AIR News Live 24/7 FM channel. The live streaming will be available on www.newsonair.com, on Twitter @AIR News Alerts, News on AIR app and News on AIR official YouTube channel at the same time. Union Education Minister Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, in a special message in Sanskrit, underlines the importance of Sanskrit language. Now let us take a look at today's weather update. The national capital Delhi may experience generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The minimum temperature was recorded at 28 degrees Celsius and maximum is expected to be around 37 degrees. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The city witnessed a minimum temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and will have a maximum of around 32 degrees. In Chennai, the temperature will hover between 25 and 33 degrees Celsius, generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle expected in the city. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The city recorded a minimum temperature of 28 degrees Celsius, while the maximum temperature will be nearly 35 degrees. In Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature was 22 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while maximum will be around 33 degrees. The city is likely to witness partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. In Srinagar, minimum temperature was 18, while maximum temperature will be 32 degrees Celsius. The city is also expected to witness partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Leh Ladakh will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the minimum temperature was recorded at 17 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 34 degrees. It is expected to have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Muzaffarabad also may have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The place witnessed a minimum temperature of 22 degrees Celsius, while maximum temperature will be around 36 degrees. Partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers expected in Itanagar. Minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 35 degrees. Guwahati is expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. Minimum temperature in the city was 27 degrees Celsius, while maximum is expected to be around 36 degrees. Chandigarh will see generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature was recorded at 27 degrees Celsius and maximum temperature will be around 34 degrees. Ahmedabad will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature in the city was 28 degrees Celsius, while maximum is expected to be around 35 degrees.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program tonight will bring a special discussion on COVID-19. Professor of Respiratory Medicine at the Safdarjung Hospital, Dr. Neeraj Gupta, will participate in the discussion. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. More than 11,45,000 people recover from COVID-19 so far. Case fatality rate further declines to 2.13%. Uttar Pradesh Cabinet Minister Kamal Rani Varun dies battling COVID-19. President Ramnath Kovind and Defence Minister express grief. Assam government allows malls, hotels and restaurants to operate on weekdays with strict COVID-19 norms. Punjab police arrest 25 persons in Huj tragedy case in which 86 people lost their lives. And flood situation remains grim in Bihar. Over 50 lakh people affected in 14 worst hit districts. And with that we end the midday news.